4 years, the world was told that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had escaped the limits of royal life to build something bigger, richer, freer, and more powerful than anything Buckingham Palace could ever offer. Yet tonight, behind the gates of Montecito, behind the cameras, behind the polished interviews and luxury branding, a very different story may be unfolding. And if even half of these reports are true, the future of the Sussex Empire may be hanging by a thread. When Prince Harry, the son of King Charles III, walked away from the British monarchy alongside Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, millions believed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were not simply leaving royal protocol behind, but launching what many analysts call the most commercially valuable post-royal brand in modern history, a brand powered by global curiosity, emotional storytelling, Hollywood connections, and the kind of royal access money simply cannot buy. Netflix arrived with headlines worth millions. Publishing executives fought for Prince Harry's memoir, major platforms lined up for interviews, and every move from Montecito looked like the beginning of a billion-dollar transformation. But now, according to multiple commentators, insiders, and financial observers, that original dream may be colliding with a far more dangerous reality. And here's the question that changes everything. Was this ever a long-term empire, or was this always a short-term explosion waiting to burn out? Because while Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, continued strengthening public trust inside the royal family, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle appear to enter a completely different battlefield, one where relevance must be monetized constantly, where every appearance carries a price tag, where every project must outperform the last, and where prestige can disappear faster than headlines can be written. Reports suggest Prince Harry's once extraordinary speaking fees may have dropped dramatically. Streaming partnerships appear quieter than before, and projects once promoted as groundbreaking now seem to be fading from public discussion. At first glance, those changes might look normal in Hollywood, but when those changes begin happening all at once, financial experts start asking a much darker question. How long can even global celebrity survive when expenses never slow down? And that is where the Montecito story becomes impossible to ignore, because Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are no longer protected by royal budgets, palace infrastructure, or institutional security. Every mortgage payment, every legal battle, every staff salary, every public relations campaign, every private security operation, every production deal, and every lifestyle launch now depends on one thing alone: consistent commercial success. According to reports, the Sussex estate carries extraordinary costs, and when those costs are combined with shrinking public enthusiasm, industry criticism, and increasingly mixed brand positioning, what once looked like freedom begins looking a lot more like pressure. So let me ask you something. If your entire empire depended on staying visible every single month, would you still call that freedom, or would you call it survival? Even more fascinating is the contrast now forming between Prince Harry and Prince William, because while Prince William, the future king, continues appearing beside Catherine, Princess of Wales, projecting discipline, continuity, and institutional strength, Prince Harry increasingly appears connected to projects that critics claim are struggling to define a consistent identity. 1 month audiences hear about documentaries, the next month podcasts, then memoirs, then wellness branding, then lifestyle launches, then philanthropic appearances, then new social campaigns, and while reinvention can be powerful, endless reinvention can also create confusion. Business analysts often say audiences invest in clarity, not chaos, and if that rule is true, the Sussex brand may now be facing its biggest challenge yet. But what happened next raised even bigger questions. Because the one institution still strongly tied to Prince Harry's public identity may now be facing scrutiny of its own. And if those reports surrounding sponsorship concerns, public spending questions, and corporate hesitation continue growing louder, Prince Harry may soon face something far more dangerous than bad headlines. Prince Harry may face an identity crisis. Because without the royal family, without Buckingham Palace, without consistent Hollywood momentum, and without strong philanthropic credibility, what exactly remains at the center of the Sussex story? That question may define everything that happens next. So before we uncover the next layer of this unfolding royal drama involving Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, King Charles III, Prince William, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join this growing royal community, because what comes next does not just involve money. What comes next may reveal a battle for reputation, legacy, and survival itself. And trust me, this story is only getting started. But if Prince Harry believed the hardest part of leaving Buckingham Palace was walking away from royal duty, what appears to be happening now suggests Prince Harry may have underestimated something far more dangerous. Because escaping the monarchy may have been the easy part, while surviving outside the monarchy may be becoming the real test. And according to multiple reports, industry analysts, and royal commentators, the financial and reputational pressure surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may now be building faster than at any point since the original departure from the royal family. At the center of that pressure sits a simple but brutal reality, because when Prince Harry, the son of King Charles III, and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, left institutional life behind, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle also left behind something the public rarely thinks about: invisible infrastructure. Buckingham Palace did not simply provide prestige. Buckingham Palace provided operational power, security systems, communications teams, scheduling experts, crisis managers, travel coordinators, legal advisors, diplomatic planners, image protection specialists, and above all, an institution that could absorb enormous costs without ever making those costs visible. But in Montecito, every dollar now appears attached directly to the Sussex brand, and when every dollar depends on commercial relevance, even global celebrities can find themselves trapped in a cycle that business experts describe as financially exhausting. So let me ask you, if your lifestyle cost millions every year, but your public influence started shrinking, how long could any empire realistically survive? Reports suggest Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continue carrying enormous fixed costs tied to the Montecito estate: private security, staffing, travel, legal actions, media production, and ongoing public image management. Analysts have pointed specifically to the California mansion itself, a property once viewed as the physical symbol of Sussex independence, but which some financial commentators now describe as a constant reminder of the price of post-royal freedom. Mortgage payments, property taxes, maintenance, insurance, and staffing alone reportedly create extraordinary monthly obligations, and unlike Prince William, the future king, or Catherine, Princess of Wales, who continue operating under institutional protection, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle now appear responsible for sustaining every single layer of that world through independent revenue. And that changes everything, because in Hollywood, fame can create headlines, but only consistency creates stability. And this is where the Netflix story becomes far more interesting than most people realize, because when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle first announced the streaming partnership, headlines exploded with numbers so large that many viewers immediately assumed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle had already secured financial dominance for decades. But entertainment insiders often point out that headline figures and actual long-term payouts are rarely the same thing, because deals of that size are usually tied to development schedules, production output, audience performance, renewals, back-end incentives, and platform satisfaction. In other words, signing the deal creates excitement, but sustaining the deal creates power. And according to critics following the Sussex business model, the real problem may not be signing extraordinary deals. The real problem may be turning those deals into repeatable commercial ecosystems. And this is where everything starts becoming uncomfortable. Because after the Oprah interview generated global curiosity, after Prince Harry's memoir created publishing shockwaves, after documentaries pulled massive attention from viewers hungry for royal secrets, Hollywood executives reportedly began asking a dangerous question. What exactly is the long-term Sussex product? Is Prince Harry the activist? Is Meghan Markle the lifestyle entrepreneur? Is Prince Harry the global speaker? Is Meghan Markle the humanitarian influencer? Is the Sussex brand entertainment, politics, wellness, philanthropy, social commentary, or celebrity storytelling? And when even supporters begin struggling to answer that question consistently, investors start noticing. So what do you think? Can any global brand dominate if audiences no longer understand exactly what that brand stands for? Meanwhile, something very different appears to be happening inside the monarchy itself, because while Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continue facing constant commercial expectations, Prince William, the future king, and Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, continue projecting something far more valuable in institutional branding: scarcity. Prince William does not need weekly interviews. Catherine, Princess of Wales, does not need lifestyle launches every month. King Charles III does not need emotional documentaries to maintain legitimacy. The royal family appears when the institution decides visibility matters, and then the royal family disappears again, allowing mystique to grow naturally. That model creates authority. Hollywood often demands the opposite. Hollywood rewards constant exposure. But here is the problem. Overexposure can generate attention while quietly destroying prestige. And according to several commentators, that exact tension may now be reshaping public perception around Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Then came the criticism that may have changed everything in elite media circles, because when major executives publicly questioned the Sussex production value, the criticism no longer came from palace insiders, British tabloids, or royal traditionalists. The criticism began coming from within American media itself, from platforms that had direct access to the Sussex operation. And in Hollywood, internal criticism carries a completely different weight, because when insiders lose confidence, sponsors begin calculating risk, agencies begin reassessing priorities, and future partnerships become dramatically harder to secure. That may explain why reports now suggest fewer major corporate names are attaching themselves publicly to new Sussex ventures, and whether every report proves accurate or not, perception alone can become financially devastating. And perhaps the most fascinating contrast of all is psychological, because while Prince William, the future king, appears increasingly associated with stability, discipline, and long-term succession, Prince Harry increasingly appears connected to reinvention, unpredictability, and constant repositioning. King Charles III still carries the weight of monarchy. Catherine, Princess of Wales, still represents trust, continuity, and public warmth. But Prince Harry and Meghan Markle now appear locked inside a world where every next project must work harder than the one before. And history shows something dangerous about that model. When a brand becomes dependent on constant reinvention, eventually the audience begins asking whether the brand ever had a core identity at all. So before we uncover the next chapter involving Invictus, corporate sponsors, growing scrutiny, and the project many believe still defines Prince Harry's public legitimacy, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us for every major royal update, because what happens next may not simply impact Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. What happens next may determine whether the Sussex era becomes a comeback story, or a cautionary tale. But just when critics believed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were merely facing a difficult business cycle, a far more serious question began emerging from royal commentators, corporate observers, and even former supporters. Because if streaming deals can shrink, if speaking fees can fluctuate, and if public attention can fade, what happens when the one project still closely tied to Prince Harry's credibility begins facing pressure of its own? And according to growing reports, that question may now sit at the very center of the Sussex story. Because long before Netflix, long before memoirs, long before California mansions, lifestyle launches, and carefully produced documentaries, Prince Harry built something that even many critics genuinely respected. Prince Harry built a connection with veterans, service members, wounded warriors, and military families through Invictus. And unlike celebrity branding, unlike Hollywood partnerships, unlike public relations campaigns, Invictus gave Prince Harry something far more valuable than attention. Invictus gave Prince Harry moral authority. Even viewers who questioned Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, often admitted that Prince Harry's commitment to veterans felt authentic, deeply personal, and connected directly to Prince Harry's military identity. That is exactly why the latest developments surrounding Invictus may be far more dangerous than any failed podcast, any difficult interview, or any critical headline. Because when a celebrity loses publicity, recovery is possible. But when a public figure begins losing moral credibility, everything changes. And let me ask you something. If the one project people still trust suddenly faces controversy, where does a public comeback even begin? Reports now suggest that major sponsorship relationships connected to Invictus may be facing uncertainty, and while official statements remain carefully controlled, commentators have begun noticing a pattern that corporate analysts rarely ignore. Large sponsors do not quietly reduce visibility, delay renewals, or step back from high-profile philanthropic projects without internal discussions about risk, value, and long-term brand alignment. Some reports specifically mention corporate hesitation surrounding future involvement, and whether every individual report proves accurate or not, the perception itself creates pressure. Because in elite business circles, perception often becomes reality long before official announcements ever arrive. And that may explain why Prince Harry, the son of King Charles III, now appears to be standing at one of the most delicate crossroads of the entire post-royal era. What makes this even more fascinating is the timing, because while Prince William, the future king, continues strengthening public visibility beside Catherine, Princess of Wales, through carefully structured royal appearances, community engagements, and institutional continuity, Prince Harry appears to be entering a season where every remaining pillar of public identity is being examined more aggressively than ever before. Prince William, the future king, continues benefiting from the discipline of monarchy, while Prince Harry continues operating in a marketplace where every sponsorship, every partnership, every public initiative must justify itself commercially, politically, and emotionally. Those are two completely different worlds. And for the first time, many viewers are beginning to ask whether Prince Harry ever fully understood how different those worlds truly are. What do you think? Did Prince Harry underestimate the cost of replacing institutional power with commercial power? And this is where the internal optics become impossible to ignore, Because corporate sponsors do not simply invest in projects. Corporate sponsors invest in stability, predictability, leadership, and long-term trust. When brands evaluate public figures, brands do not merely ask whether audiences recognize a name. Brands ask whether controversy could suddenly become attached to that name. Brands ask whether leadership appears consistent. Brands ask whether internal operations look organized. Brands ask whether headlines help sales or create risk. And according to several business analysts following the Sussex operation, the biggest concern may no longer be popularity. The biggest concern may be unpredictability. In other words, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may still command global recognition, but global recognition does not automatically translate into corporate confidence. And in modern media economics, confidence can be worth far more than fame. Then another layer began attracting attention, and this layer may be even more uncomfortable, because observers started looking not just at public appearances, but at organizational patterns behind the scenes. Reports of staffing changes, executive departures, communications turnover, and repeated restructuring have circulated for years. And while staff movement alone does not prove dysfunction, experienced analysts often say organizational behavior reveals truths that public interviews never will. Strong institutions usually retain talent. Stable leadership usually creates continuity. Healthy ecosystems usually develop long-term teams. But when turnover becomes a recurring storyline, outsiders begin asking difficult questions. And suddenly the conversation shifts from celebrity gossip to operational psychology. Could Prince Harry and Meghan Markle be facing challenges far deeper than public image alone? Meanwhile, back inside Britain, something equally important appears to be happening emotionally. Because as Prince Harry faces growing scrutiny, King Charles III continues maintaining institutional authority despite health concerns, while Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, continues symbolizing resilience, public warmth, and family continuity. Prince William, the future king, increasingly appears positioned not simply as the next monarch, but as the visible embodiment of stability during a period of uncertainty. And whether viewers support every royal decision or not, one reality appears increasingly difficult to ignore. Buckingham Palace never entered the celebrity economy, and because Buckingham Palace never needed the celebrity economy, Buckingham Palace may now look stronger precisely because Buckingham Palace stayed patient. And this is where everything becomes deeply psychological. Because the original Sussex narrative promised something extraordinary. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle would leave tradition behind, build modern influence, command global audiences, shape culture independently, and perhaps even redefine what royal relevance looked like in the 21st century. But 6 years later, according to critics, that promise may be evolving into something far less glamorous. Not expansion, not domination, not reinvention, but survival. And survival creates very different decisions. Survival creates rushed launches. Survival creates aggressive visibility. Survival creates constant repositioning. Survival creates a need to stay relevant at all costs. So let me ask you honestly, if your brand depended on never disappearing, would you still control your image, or would your image start controlling you? And yet, as dramatic as this story has already become, what comes next may be even more personal, because behind the business headlines, behind the sponsorship concerns, behind the corporate calculations, there may be an even deeper conflict unfolding. The growing tension between identity and relevance, between Prince Harry's past as a prince and Prince Harry's future as an independent global figure, between Meghan Markle's ambition and public perception, and between what the world was promised, and what the world may now be witnessing. So before we uncover the emotional battle involving public fatigue, royal comparisons, brand exhaustion, and the uncomfortable question even Hollywood insiders may now be asking about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay with us until the end, because this next chapter may reveal not simply where the Sussex story stands today, but where the Sussex story may be heading tomorrow. But if the financial pressure surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle has already raised alarm bells, what happened next may be even more damaging, because money can be rebuilt, sponsorships can sometimes return, and public narratives can occasionally recover. But once audiences begin feeling emotionally exhausted by a brand, rebuilding trust becomes far more difficult than rebuilding wealth. And according to a growing number of media analysts, that may be exactly where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle now find themselves. Not in a crisis of visibility, but in a crisis of emotional overexposure. At the beginning of the post-royal era, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle represented exclusivity, mystery, rebellion, and access to a world the public had never fully seen. The Oprah interview felt historic because audiences believed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were finally opening doors that Buckingham Palace had kept sealed for decades. Prince Harry's memoir felt explosive because Prince Harry, the son of King Charles III, appeared ready to reveal deeply personal conflicts involving Prince William, the future king, private family tensions, and the hidden emotional costs of life inside the monarchy. Netflix drew millions because viewers wanted palace secrets, insider moments, and raw emotional honesty. But here is the uncomfortable truth that many branding experts quietly repeat. Exclusivity loses power the moment exclusivity becomes constant availability. And that may be where everything started changing. So let me ask you, when a mystery becomes a monthly headline, does the mystery still hold any power? Because over time, audiences no longer saw Prince Harry and Meghan Markle as rare global exclusives appearing only when something truly mattered. Instead, critics argue audiences began seeing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle everywhere. Documentaries, podcasts, magazine covers, social media relaunches, lifestyle teasers, public speeches, overseas appearances, political commentary, product launches, humanitarian visits, strategic interviews, carefully staged photographs. And while every individual appearance may have looked harmless on its own, the cumulative effect may have quietly transformed the Sussex image from premium scarcity into constant content. And in elite branding, that shift can be devastating, because premium brands are built on controlled access, not unlimited exposure. This becomes even more fascinating when you compare Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, because Prince William and Kate Middleton continue operating under an entirely different psychological model. Prince William does not appear every week to explain personal struggles. Catherine, Princess of Wales, does not launch products every month to maintain relevance. King Charles III does not release emotional documentaries to remind the world that King Charles III still matters. The monarchy appears, delivers a carefully measured moment of symbolism, reinforces institutional authority, and then disappears again. That creates anticipation. That creates scarcity. That creates prestige. And whether viewers support every royal tradition or not, viewers understand exactly what Prince William, King Charles III, and Kate Middleton represent. But here is the dangerous question now facing Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Do audiences still know exactly what the Sussex brand represents? Because depending on the month, Prince Harry appears as a truth teller, a military advocate, a public speaker, a media producer, a legal reform voice, a trauma survivor, or a global activist, while Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, appears as a humanitarian, a podcast host, a producer, a women's advocate, a lifestyle entrepreneur, a wellness personality, and increasingly, a luxury California brand figure. None of those identities are inherently weak, and in fact, many of those identities carry enormous commercial potential. But branding experts often warn that too many identities introduced too quickly can create audience confusion instead of audience loyalty. And once confusion enters the market, loyalty becomes expensive. What do you think? Is reinvention a strength, or can too much reinvention slowly destroy trust? Then came the public perception problem that may be even harder to measure than revenue, because while Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continued expanding visibility, critics started noticing something subtle but powerful: emotional fatigue. Every project seemed connected to pain, conflict, trauma, betrayal, accountability, healing, survival, or institutional criticism. Every interview carried emotional intensity. Every documentary promised deeper revelations. Every memoir chapter reopened family wounds. Every media appearance seemed designed to extend the emotional conversation. And emotional storytelling can be incredibly powerful, but brands built entirely around emotional intensity eventually face a difficult challenge. Audiences begin craving something lighter, something broader, something less emotionally demanding. And if that broader identity never arrives, audiences may quietly start tuning out. Meanwhile, inside Buckingham Palace, the strategy appears almost brutally disciplined. Prince William, the future king, continues focusing on succession, environmental initiatives, military tradition, and family stability. Catherine, Princess of Wales, continues representing warmth, resilience, and public continuity. King Charles III continues reinforcing institutional legitimacy despite personal health battles and political pressure. No emotional oversharing. No endless explanations. No constant monetization, just continuity. And that continuity may be doing something psychologically powerful, because during periods of public chaos, audiences often begin trusting what feels calm. And right now, compared with the turbulence surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Buckingham Palace may be benefiting from exactly that contrast. But perhaps the most dangerous shift of all is happening in Hollywood itself, because once a brand becomes associated with unpredictability, executive hesitation can spread quietly but quickly. Studios do not like production uncertainty. Sponsors do not like political volatility. Corporate boards do not like emotional unpredictability. Agencies do not like expensive clients who generate endless controversy without guaranteed returns. And according to multiple commentators, that may explain why the Sussex operation appears increasingly dependent on self-generated visibility rather than powerful new third-party partnerships. In other words, instead of major institutions pulling Prince Harry and Meghan Markle forward, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may now be working harder than ever simply to maintain momentum. And that is a very different phase of power. And yet the most personal question may still remain unanswered, because beneath the headlines, beneath the podcasts, beneath the documentaries, beneath the sponsorship concerns, and beneath the brand repositioning, one question continues growing louder. Did Prince Harry and Meghan Markle leave the monarchy to gain freedom, only to discover that commercial freedom can become its own form of dependence? So before we enter the final chapter, where the future of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, King Charles III, Prince William, and Catherine, Princess of Wales may collide with the one question nobody inside Montecito seems ready to answer, make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay with us until the end, because what happens next may not simply decide the future of the Sussex brand. What happens next may decide whether this story ends in redemption or irreversible decline. And now we arrive at the question that may ultimately define not only the future of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, but the legacy of the entire post-royal experiment. Because after the documentaries, after the interviews, after the memoirs, after the global headlines, after the streaming deals, after the public battles, after the emotional revelations, and after years of trying to prove that celebrity power could rival institutional power, one brutal reality may now be impossible to ignore. What if Prince Harry and Meghan Markle never actually escaped the monarchy at all, but instead became more dependent on the monarchy than ever before? Because when analysts step back and examine nearly every major commercial victory attached to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle since leaving Buckingham Palace, a striking pattern begins emerging. The Oprah interview exploded because audiences expected Prince Harry, the son of King Charles III, to reveal private royal pain. The Netflix documentary attracted millions because viewers wanted insider access to Buckingham Palace tensions. Prince Harry's memoir became a publishing phenomenon because Prince Harry described private conflicts involving Prince William, the future king, family arguments, military memories, and emotional moments connected directly to the royal family. Even media discussions surrounding Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, continue gaining traction whenever Meghan Markle's story intersects with royal titles, palace insiders, succession dynamics, or family controversy. And that raises an uncomfortable question. If the royal connection still drives global attention, what happens when audiences finally feel there are no more royal secrets left to hear? That question may be more dangerous than any financial report, because money problems can sometimes be solved with a new deal, a new investor, a new production partner, or a new strategic relaunch. But audience exhaustion is different. Audience exhaustion cannot be negotiated. Audience exhaustion cannot be spun through public relations. Audience exhaustion quietly builds over time until one day viewers simply stop clicking. And according to multiple commentators, that may be the silent threat now surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Not hatred, not outrage, not even scandal. Exhaustion. And history shows that public exhaustion can end even the most powerful brands. So let me ask you, do you think Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are still shaping the narrative, or do you think the narrative is now shaping Prince Harry and Meghan Markle? Meanwhile, inside Britain, the contrast continues becoming harder to ignore, because while Prince Harry and Meghan Markle navigate sponsorship pressure, brand repositioning, and constant commercial visibility, Prince William, the future king, appears increasingly comfortable inside a very different strategy: patience. Prince William continues appearing beside Catherine, Princess of Wales, reinforcing family continuity, public trust, and succession discipline. Kate Middleton continues representing resilience, warmth, and long-term public loyalty. King Charles III continues carrying the weight of monarchy, legacy, and institutional continuity despite personal health challenges and political scrutiny. And whether viewers agree with every royal tradition or not, one truth remains difficult to deny. Institutions survive because institutions think in generations, while celebrity brands often think in quarters. And that difference may now be reshaping everything. Because 6 years ago, many believed Prince Harry and Meghan Markle might eventually outgrow Buckingham Palace, outshine traditional monarchy, and build a global model so powerful that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle would become the modern face of influence itself. Silicon Valley connections, Hollywood access, publishing deals, streaming contracts, elite California networks, global name recognition, and emotional public sympathy created what looked like the perfect launch platform. But according to critics, what followed may reveal a much harsher lesson. Visibility is not the same as leverage, attention is not the same as authority, and fame is not the same as permanence. Prince William, the future king, does not need to prove relevance every month. Catherine, Princess of Wales, does not need a product launch to maintain trust. King Charles III does not need documentaries to preserve legitimacy. The monarchy simply continues. And sometimes, continuity becomes the strongest strategy of all. And this brings us to perhaps the most personal question of the entire Sussex era, because behind every interview, every project, every speech, every lawsuit, every launch, and every carefully controlled public appearance, there may be a deeper emotional battle unfolding inside Montecito, the battle between identity and expectation. Prince Harry may still be searching for a role powerful enough to replace the role Prince Harry was born into. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, may still be searching for a brand powerful enough to unify ambition, influence, philanthropy, and commercial success under one identity. But in today's media economy, identity confusion can become incredibly expensive, and every year without a clear center makes reinvention harder, not easier. And here's what I want to know from you. If Prince Harry and Meghan Markle announced tomorrow that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were stepping completely away from public life for 2 years, would that silence rebuild mystery? Or would that silence confirm decline? Because the clock may now be moving faster than ever. Invictus faces scrutiny. Corporate confidence appears cautious. Hollywood enthusiasm may be cooler than before. Public fatigue may be growing. The relationship with Buckingham Palace remains fractured. And every new project now carries more pressure than the one before. But history has shown something remarkable about public figures under pressure. Some collapse under expectation, while others disappear quietly, rebuild strategically, and return stronger than ever. So perhaps the real story of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, King Charles III, Prince William, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, is not finished at all. Perhaps this is not the ending. Perhaps this is the turning point. And now I want to hear your thoughts. Can Prince Harry and Meghan Markle rebuild the Sussex brand, restore public trust, and redefine the future outside the monarchy? Or has the window already started closing? Share your opinion in the comments below, because this conversation is only getting bigger. And if you enjoy deep royal analysis, palace insider stories, succession drama, and powerful documentaries about the royal family, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for every major update. Because in the world of kings, queens, princes, and power, the next chapter is always closer than it looks.